Thank you. Allow me a little bit of informality at the outset. You would realize that the three guys in the elevated portion of Congress are from Mindanao. So wala na talaga kaming masabi. Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III, members of the Senate, Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez, and the members of the House of Representatives, Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo, President Fidel V. Ramos, President Joseph Estrada, President Arroyo, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Serrano, and the justices of Sereno, justices of the Supreme Court, His Excellency Papa Nuncio, and members of the Diplomatic Corps. We cannot, well, of course, I have also to greet the Executive Secretary, Salvador Medaldia, the members of the Cabinet, fellow workers in government, my countrymen. We cannot move forward if we allow the past to pull us back. Finger pointing is not the way. That is why I will not waste precious time dwelling on the sins of the past or blaming those who are perceived to be responsible for the mess that we are in and suffering from, except maybe to extract a lesson or two from its errors. We will not tarry because it is the present that we are concerned with and the future that we should be prepared for. Lest I be misunderstood, let me say clearly that those who betrayed the people's trust shall not go unpunished, and they will have their day in court. And if the evidence warrants, they will have their day of reckoning too. When I decided to seek the presidency of this republic, I knew what the ills of our country were. I knew their causes, and I was briefed on those who caused the causes. I heard the people on the streets complain that justice had become illusory, that equity and fairness and speedy disposition of cases had deteriorated into hollow concepts fit only for muscular dissertations. It was and still is very sad indeed. As a former prosecutor, I know there are always ways of knowing how fast or how slow cases go. What I did was to look into the number of postponements and the time difference between each postponement and the next setting. It was simple as that. I will appreciate deeply if we all in government attend to this urgent need. I was determined then, as I am now determined and better positioned, to wage war against those who make a mockery of our laws, including those who make life for us all miserable. I wish to assure everyone, though, that vindictiveness is not in my system, just like you and I, all equal treatment and equal protection are what I ask for our people. But we must have the courage to fight for what we believe in, undeterred by the fear of failing or losing. Indeed, courage knows no limits. Cowardice does. At this point, there are concerns few I wish to convey to all, to the end that as I perorate on facts, figures, plans, programs, and solutions, these concerns will not dissipate or get lost along our way. Thus, to our religious bishops, leaders, priests, pastors, preachers, imam, let me assure you that while I am a stickler for the principle of separation between church and state, I believe quite strongly that there should never be a separation between God and state. During my inauguration last 2016, I said that the fight against criminality and illegal drugs and corruption will be relentless and sustained. I reiterate that commitment today, and that is why I call on the Philippine National Police, the barangay chairman, the mayors and governors, are all those occupying seats of power and authority not to lower their guard. There will be no let-up in this campaign. Double your efforts, triple them if need be. We will not stop until the last drug lord, the last financier, and the last pusher have surrendered or put behind bars. Or below the ground, if they so wish. To our police officers and other officials, do your job, and you will have the unwavering support of the Office of the President. I will be with you all the way. Abuse your authority, and there will be a hell to pay. For you will have become worse than criminality itself. I order the National Police Commission to hasten the conduct of investigation and adjudication of administrative cases against police officers involved in criminal activity and illegal activities, and prescribe policies on lifestyle checks for PNP members. In this quest, I will put at stake my honor, my life, and the presidency itself. The DLG is also directed to strictly monitor how LGUs perform their supervision functions over the police. And those found that performing will be sanctioned, including the loss of police deputation from the NAPOLCOM. Let me repeat my warning to all. I repeat, my repeat to all. Do not do drugs. Because you will be the solution to the drug crisis that has engulfed, malawak, the nation. We will create an interagency committee on illegal drugs that will integrate efforts and strengthen the partnerships of all stakeholders. The reservists will be mobilized for information campaign against drug use and dissemination of information regarding drug rehabilitation program being offered by the government. Let us also strengthen our ROTC program to instill love of country and good citizenship. We will also prioritize the rehabilitation of drug users. We will increase the number of residential treatment and rehabilitation facilities in all regions of the country. The armed forces of the Philippines will facilitate the preparation for the use of military camps and facilities for drug rehabilitation. There can never be real, tangible, and felt development without making our people feel secure. And it is our duty to uplift the people's welfare. With this, my administration shall be sensitive to the state's obligation to promote and protect, fulfill the human rights of our citizens, especially the poor, the marginalized, and the vulnerable, and social justice will be pursued even as the rule of law shall at all times prevail. My administration shall implement a human approach to development and governance as we improve our people's welfare in the areas of health, education, adequate food and housing, environmental preservation, and respect for culture. Human rights must work to uplift human dignity. But human rights cannot be used as a shield or an excuse to destroy the country. Your country, I am my country. Meantime, since our country continues to be confronted with internal security threats aggravated by the existence and activities of the terrorist group Abu Sayyaf, the full force of the AAP will be applied to crush these criminals who operate under the guise of religious fervor. The AAP shall enhance its capability to search and engage these rogue and lawless elements. We have to strengthen our coordination with Indonesia and Malaysia to suppress the kidnapping in the waters of our neighboring countries. We will strengthen our counter-terrorism programs by amending various laws on human terrorism, terrorism financing, and cybercrime. This is our answer to the challenges of the global developments, on the non-traditional threats, transnational crimes, and fanatical terrorism. Addressing global warming shall all be our top priority, but upon a fair and equitable equation. It must not stymie our industrialization. We also endeavor to develop and corporate partnership with nations sharing common interests and concerns with the Philippines, maintain and sustain bilateral and multilateral consultations and dialogues. We will continue to expand operation human assistance, disaster response, maritime security, and counterterrorism. We shall deepen security dialogues with other nations to build greater understanding and cooperation. With regard to the West Philippine Sea, otherwise known as China Sea, we strongly affirm and respect the outcome of the case before the Permanent Court of Arbitration as an important contribution to the ongoing efforts to pursue a peaceful resolution and management of our disputes. On the aspect of our peace processes relating to our engagement with the international community, the Philippines shall remain committed to work under international and with industrial partners, achieving lasting peace and progress in the country. We will vigorously address the grievances that have been time and again expressed not only by the Bangsamoro indigenous peoples and other groups for security, development, fair access to decision-making, and acceptance of identities. Enduring peace can only be attained only if we meet these fundamental needs of every man, woman, and child. To our Muslim brothers, the Moro country, and the members of the CPP, NPA, NDF, let me say this. All of us want peace. Not the peace of the dead, but the peace of the living. We express our willingness and readiness to go to the negotiating table. And yet, we load our guns, fix our sights, pull the trigger. It is both ironic and tragic, and it is endless. While we extol the bravery and heroism of our soldiers, kayo, the rebels, do the same for your members and fighters. What I see instead are the widows and the orphans, and I feel their pain and grief, and no amount of cash assistance or the number of medals can compensate the loss of a human life. Sorrow cuts across every stratum of society. It cuts deeply, and the pain lasts forever. That is why I reach out to you, to all of you today, to our Muslim brothers. Let us end the centuries of mistrust and warfare. To the CPP, NPA, let us end these decades of ambuscades and skirmishes. We are going nowhere, and it is getting bloodier by the day. To immediately stop violence on the ground, restore peace in the communities, and provide enabling environment conducive to the resumption of the peace talks, I am now announcing a unilateral ceasefire with the CPP, NPA, NDF, effective immediately, and call on our Filipinos in the National Democratic Front and its forces to respond accordingly. Let me make this appeal to you. If we cannot as yet love one another, then in God's name, let us not hate each other too much. So it was said. I say the same to you today. We will strive to have a permanent and lasting peace before my term ends. That is my goal. That is my dream. On the macroeconomic management, my administration will continue and maintain current macroeconomic policies and even do better. We will achieve this through prudent fiscal and monetary policies that can help translate high growth into more and better job creation and poverty reduction. By the end of my term, I hope and pray to hand over an economy that is much stronger, characterized by solid growth, low and stable inflation, dollar reserves, and robust fiscal position. On taxation, my administration will pursue tax reforms towards a simpler and more equitable and more efficient tax system that can foster investment and job creation. We will lower personal and corporate income tax rates and relax the bank secrecy law. Na presidente ako eh. Ayaw ko sana makialam dito sa mga to. Wala mo na. Well, anyway, may I continue? At the household level, there must be sufficient income for all Filipinos to meet the basic food and non-food needs for their families. We shall continue to track investments that will generate thousands of jobs each year, jobs that are suitable for the poor and less skilled members of the workforce. Reforms to ensure competitiveness and promote ease of doing business will be mandatory. Reacting to these needs, the restrictions on the economy will be needed to make more investments to come and to develop labor-intensive industries such as manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism shall be pursued. We must also invest in human capital and ensure equal access to economic opportunities. The implementation of the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Law must be put into full force and effect. So that couples, especially the poor, will have freedom of informed choice on the number and spacing of children they can adequately care and provide for, eventually making them more productive members of the labor force. When employment is not an option, for instance, in extremely rural neighborhoods, entrepreneurship will be advocated. We shall also enhance local business environment by addressing bottlenecks in business registration and processing, in streamlining investment applications and process and integration, the services of various government offices. Government financial institutions shall come up with out-of-the-box financing packages to capacitate our small and medium entrepreneurs. In the field of tourism, we shall construct more access roads and tourism gateways to service centers and tourist sites. Road development projects shall complement with our trust to modern agricultural infrastructural and expanding and improving the construction and rehabilitation of roads and the irrigation, and establishing modern harvest and post-harvest facilities to minimize losses. We shall also conduct a nationwide soil analysis to determine areas most suitable for rice farming to optimize production, with the use of effective soil rehabilitation and fertilization. We shall strictly enforce fisheries laws, particularly on illegal fishing, and promote aquaculture along riverbanks and in backyards. On the other hand, we will accelerate infrastructure spending, improving national roads and bridges, and implementing the Mindanao Logistics Infrastructure Network and other road network master plans. We shall pursue inter-island linkage projects. We shall be implementing structural mitigation to measure the address of the perennial flooding in Metro Manila and neighboring areas. We shall put up new pumping stations in strategic places. The revival of the operation of the Pasig River Ferry service system is a viable option for the severe traffic congestion in Metro Manila. This serves as an alternative mode of transportation for passengers, particularly those coming from the east side of Metro, to reach specific destinations within the cities of Manila, Mandaluyong, Pasig, Taguig, Marikina, and Quezon City. Our anti-colorum campaign and out-of-line apprehension, including the removal of terminals, will be intensified, and my God, it will be done. Immediately, to address lack of road infrastructure in Metro Manila, usage of existing roads will be maximized. Thus, there is a need to cooperate and coordinate with LGUs to map out secondary routes and to consult various stakeholders, including the public transport operators. Many in government opine realistically that I would have to agree that the worsening traffic situation could be logically addressed if Congress would also accord emergency powers to the agencies concerned. Ayaw mo, okay lang rin. Pero nakita namin, kung gusto ninyong madalian, alam naman talaga ninyo, sagad na lahat. Sagad na. Nasa inyo yan. If you give it, fine. If you don't, we take the longer route. Slowly. And tanggapin ko yung pagmumura ninyo. Huwag lang sa malapit. Ganun talaga eh. You done it. It's an urgent and immediate situation. Solution. Gusto ninyo, madali, okay. Pag ayaw naman ninyo, because baka sabihin nyo, ang corruption naman, hindi okay rin. I assure you. Wala ito sa script. I assure you. This will be a clean government. If that is the only worry that you have, and I can understand your misgivings, wala na ito sa, haba. Wala na ito sa script. You know, ako makagarantiya ako. 101%, it will be clean. Problem is, I can only act through agencies and departments. That's why I urge you, na basking kunting mali lang, wala akong ano sa inyo. Wala na akong politika, wala na lang. I'm through after this. I just passed on to you the information that, you know, I act through secretaries and everything. I cannot guarantee their honesty and competence at all times. Cabinet members, yes. Pero yung sa baba, yung procurement, yung magbibidding dyan, but as far as I can really, it malinis talaga to. At napag-usapan namin sa likod about the federal system. You know, my advice to you is, maintain a federal system, a parliament, but be sure to have a president. Wag, hindi na ako niyan. I'm disqualified, and by that time, I would no longer be here. But I can commit today to the Republic of the Philippines and its people. If you hurry up the federal system of government, and you can submit it to the Filipino people by the 4th, 5th year, kasi proseso yan eh. You call for a referendum, and after that, call for a presidential election. I will go. Sibat na ako. But you must have a president. You copy the France system. Huwag mo hiyaan yung puro na parliament, delikado. It takes time even for yung kagaya ng England. No? There was this bomb on the double deck. Took them time, really. Because there's no one apparatus for a commander-in-chief down. You can have a president, you can elect. Maybe Tito Soto would be the lucky guy at the time. O de, limitahan mo lang. Ceremonial powers, power to dissolve, power to accept the resolution or whatever. Mandating you this, do that. Or ceremonial powers, except in times of need. There's a demand for action, you must have a president. Wala na ako niyan. I said, if you can give me that document, I will urge you to conduct, call for an election the following week. And even if there's still 2 years, 3 years, I will go. Okay na ako. Do not worry about me. I am into that much ambition. Eh, nanalo ko. Hindi ko alam bakit nandito ngayon. Noon, nandoon lang ako. Totoo man. Eh, sino man nagsuporta sa inyo sa akin dito? Wala man. Not a single congressman. Except for two provinces, governor. Yun lang. Wala akong barangay captain. Wala lahat. Pero ngayon, processing time in issuing permits and licenses shall be reduced to the barest minimum. In my city, it is always 3 days for local governments. That will bind the office of the president down to the last barangay level. 3 days. 3 days. Local government. Business permit, clearances, no follow-ups. Bigyan mo ng stop. Be back next week. Tignan mo yung workload. And I will require every department. Yung dito sa etas. They must have a logbook. Wag sa computer kay itong ganito na i-erase yan. Daya mong date, time, I accept the documents of Rodrigo Duterte. Then you go to your computer. You must have an actuarial projection, sir. Look at the workload. Napakabubo man naman kinama. Ilan ang workload ninyo? Tapos, bumalik ka dito August 3. 3 o'clock. Yan, 3 o'clock. Ibigay mo. Ngayon, I will be establishing 8888. Only for dedicated to corruption. Pag may marinig ako sa executive department, even a whisper, hiwalay-hiwalay na tayo. Marami dyan sa gallery, marami dyan, walang trabaho, nag-a-apply hanggang ngayon. Hindi naman lahat kasi mayayaman yan eh. Mga asawa ninyo ata yan. while the issuance and distribution of motor vehicle plates at point of sale o through motor vehicle dealers shall be considered. Wag na sa LTO, kaya hanggang ngayon, panahon pa ni Jesucristo yung first plate nila, hanggang ngayon wala. Bayad na yun, until now, sa awa ng Diyos. For the driver licenses, its effectiveness will be extended from the current 3-year period to 5 years. To reduce queuing time at ticketing stations, tickets sa mga train will be made readily available and easily accessible to the riding public kung bilihin mo yan sa malls, stalls, and stores. Ipinagbibili mo yung di mo na ibigay. Accredited. Huwag doon banda sa recto, kasigurado pikihin yan mga ulol. May I address again to the Philippines. Ako po'y nagdodoble ang pagod para sa inyo, para sa kapakanan ng bayan. Seryoso po ako. Kayong mga ganon, tikit-tikit at magkaroon ng gulo, wag ho ninyong gawain yan. Ito na yung warning ko. Yun na yun, last. Wala nang iba. Hindi ko na gagawin. Huwag ninyong sirain yung mga bagay-bagay na ginagawa namin para sa kapakanan ng tao. Mabuti ang magkaintindihan tayo. Maya yung buntay kayo, kaibigan ko tarag. Kaya wag ninyong gawin. Simple lang yan eh. Para walang away sa gobyerno, yung mga bagay na illegal at masama at hindi tama, wag mong gawin. At hindi kami mag-aaway dito. Pati yung pare na, pati si Pau, tinamaan. Okay, let us be clear with each other. I am for the comfort and the welfare of the Filipino. Kayo namang hindi pa bungog dyan, hindi pa pumasok yung mga droga. Kung ayaw ninyong mamatay, ayaw ninyong masaktan, huwag kayong umasa dyan sa mga pare pati human rights, hindi nakakapigil yan ng kamatayan. So huwag ninyong gawin, tapos nandiyan ka, nakabulagtad, and you are portrayed in a broadsheet na parang Mother Mary cradling the dead cadaver of Jesus Christ. Ayan yung mga yan eh. Magdramahan tayo dito. Dito ang nakatingin kasi dito yung public eh. Alam mo, ilang beses ko na sinasabi, sa Davao, wag mong gawin. Kasi magkakaproblema tayo. He who is the cause of the cause is the cause of them all. Ikaw yung nag-umpisa, you swallow. Ulitin ko he who is the cause of the cause is the cause of them all. Kami nagtatrabaho lang. We have a nation to guard. We have millions of people to see that they are healthy. It's a question of drug, it's a question of public interest, public order. Kita mo, lesser crime. Wala na kasing magnanakaw. Wala na nag-hold up. Kasi pare yan. Kita tapos sabi lang, maliliit lang yan. Gamitin mo utak mo. If you're able to contaminate, kagaya ng negosyo ng mga Chinese, wholesale yan sila. Maski kunti-kunti, the whole of Tondo contaminated, pera yan. I'm not saying it's Chinese. The practice of itong wholesale retail. They go for wholesale. Maski na kumita lang ng isang piso dyan sa isang kaso, okay na yan. Kasi paramihan eh. Yan ang ibig kong sabihin. Now, I hope the military and the police will not react on this. It's part of the deep intelligence that we have gathered. I'm forced to come in public kasi pati yung mga pare nagaano. Alam mo, kayong mga media, naghanap kayo ng where's the big fish? Saan yung bilyonaryo na mayaman? Yung may kotse, may mga Mercedes, may... Ma'am, nandoon yan sila sa labas. Wala dito. Magdala ka ng isang batalyon na pulis para hulihin natin doon. Kung kaya natin. Didirect the traffic of drugs sa kanila. Meron silang ganito. Malaki. Real time, nakikinig sila ngayon dito. I am very 101% nakikinig sila. Doon lang, isusuri nila sa tundo. Oh, itapon mo dyan. Tapos umalis ka, kunin mo daw sa tindahan yung bag o package. Masabi mo nakikita ng media na kayo lang nagbabrand niya na drug lord eh. Those are not the drug lords. You, mga lieutenant, delivery boy yan. Kumbaga LBC lang yan, pati DHL, federal. Pati yung tawag nilang basura, yun yung street, ano. Huwag kayong maghanap. Gusto niyo, sabihin ko sa inyo, puntahan natin. I'll give you the names. I'll show you the intelligence dito. Pero give me the guarantee na may magawain ka. Because I'll give you the name, I'll give you the country. Kung wala ka rin gagawa, mag-shut up ka. Kaya hindi lang kami na, do not get too personal about our work here. I'm saying that dito, balik na tayo kasi yung hindi nakakaintindi ng Tagalog, ano na yung nila. So, Tagal naman itong passenger capacity congestion shall be addressed by increasing the number of running trains from the current 16 trains with a total of 48 cars per hour to 20 trains, with a total of 60 car per hour. Now, you increase the train speed from 40 to 60. Ang problema nito, yung mga railway na, di na ito kasali dyan. Huwag niyo maniwala dito. 2/3 of these are mine. The other 1/3 is correct yung grammar ko, yung ano lang nila.